There's a reason why we can't give up bad habits easily, or why we can't accomplish the things that we want to accomplish. And it's not because you're not able to, because I know you can, but it's really because we're living in our habits. I feel like a good majority of us are living in our bad habits, and we don't even recognize it until it's too late. And when you're living in those bad habits, especially when you're not even really aware of it, it's borderline impossible to give up. But I saw a quote today that honestly inspired this entire video, and the quote said, if the best version of yourself wouldn't do it, then don't do it. And I feel like that quote can honestly change lives if you know what to do with the quote. So to the handful of people that have asked me how to build discipline, how to focus on yourself even when it's difficult and challenging, this video is for you. I feel like it's pretty safe to say that for the most part, everybody has this idea of what their perfect life looks like. The confusing part of life isn't figuring out exactly what you want, because anybody can think of what they want. Anybody can figure out what their dream is. The most confusing part is figuring out how to get there, how to find the discipline, how to focus on yourself, how to find the passion, how to find the motivation. That's the most confusing part of everything in life. You know, you want the cars, you want the house, you want the perfect family, the perfect relationship, you want all of this stuff. But how exactly can you do that? How exactly can you become that best version of yourself that you want to become? And then when you get to that point of questioning, how exactly can I do something? How do I put myself in a position to be the best version of myself? I feel like this is where people typically start to realize how difficult and challenging something is. And then this is really where most people tend to quit. You know, a person with an addiction, this is typically the point where they start to quit, because they're recognizing how difficult it actually is to do instead of just saying that you're going to do it. And unfortunately, that applies for pretty much any goal that we can set out. The person that wants to lose weight, the person that wants to be a professional athlete, the person that wants to go to college, a lot of people tend to quit at that point because they're recognizing it's a lot easier to have a dream than it is to actually work towards that dream, than it is to actually build the discipline and find the focus to make that dream actually happen. Pretty much the backbone to that entire thing is that it's easy to have a dream. It's easy to say that you're going to do something and tell other people that you're going to do it, but it's hard to actually accomplish that. And it's so hard to accomplish because it really takes one main thing. It takes discipline. And I know discipline, that's like the forbidden word for some reason. A lot of people don't really like to hear it because it's a difficult concept. I mean, it's so hard to build discipline. It's so hard to focus on discipline. But I feel like the only reason that we can't stay disciplined is because we're not understanding one key thing. We're not realizing that discipline costs more than we're willing to give sometimes. Whatever you want to do in life, it costs something. Everything is transactional. I said that in the video before, but it's honestly the truth. I mean, everything is transactional, even this concept. Discipline costs your time, it costs your energy, it costs your effort, it costs a lot more than some people are willing to give. And if you want to actually build discipline and become disciplined, you've got to want it for yourself. Not because people on the internet have told you to get disciplined, because like I said, it costs stuff. And if somebody's just telling you to get something, you're not going to waste your money on that. Obviously, you should want to build discipline, but you can't want to build discipline just because it sounds nice, just because somebody like me told you to build discipline. That's not how that works. Because like I said, it costs something. If somebody told me to spend $1,000 on a new phone when I don't need a new phone, I'm not going to spend the money. If I really wanted to waste my money on a new phone, I'm going to have to develop that want for it. I'm going to have to develop a want to actually spend money on it. Whether it's I realize that the phone is actually amazing, or my old phone just breaks, I actually want that stuff. I'm not going to buy it just because somebody told me to. And I hope all of that made sense. But the main thing that I really wanted to talk about is that I feel like we can trick ourselves into wanting discipline for ourselves. I feel like sometimes people get in situations where it's like you're kind of forced into discipline. Like if you lose a job, you're forced to lock in and get your act together. If you get your heart broken, you're motivated, and it's like you're kind of forced to lock in and do better for yourself just so you can prove that person wrong or whatever it is. You know, sometimes people go through tragic or just unfortunate situations that force them into discipline. But hopefully this way is just a little bit easier so you don't have to, go through a tragic situation. If you're having a hard time building discipline, you've got to question, why is building discipline harder for you? Earlier today, I asked myself, why is building discipline so challenging to me for some reason? What about building discipline is making it feel like I can't get out of bed in the morning, or I can't exercise when I said I was going to? What is it about discipline that's kind of having me in this chokehold of not being able to do anything? And I can only really speak for myself in my own personal experience, but I realized that building discipline was so challenging for me because it felt like I was kind of starting over with certain things. It's honestly like we're just building something new for ourselves because, we have bad habits. It may feel like we're this broken person that needs to be fixed and develop perfect habits and develop all this perfect stuff. And honestly, that's intimidating. Building something new from scratch, trying to fix yourself, that's an intimidating concept for me. And I don't even really think that intimidating is the right word. I feel like It's more so just uncomfortable because you've kind of established this day-to-day lifestyle that you're already living. And it's like you're recognizing that it's bad, but you've got to build something new and fix that. And that uncomfortability is really why I live in my bad habits. That's why I can't wake up in the bed in the morning. That's why I can't work out when I say I want to work out. That's why I can't record a video when I say I want to record a video. Because I'm living in those bad habits of just comfortability, dopamine, scrolling, all this type of stuff on my phone. Over the past few months, I've been building up those habits, and that's just become what's comfortable for me. But despite all of those issues that I just said I had, I'm still learning and growing every single day. And what I learned today is that you've got to do what the best version of yourself does. No matter what that looks like for you, you've got to do what the best version of yourself does. You know, going back to that quote that I just said at the beginning of the video, if the best version of you wouldn't do it, then don't do it. Because you're really pretty much just trying to envision that lifestyle that you want to live. You want to become the best version of yourself. And if the best version of yourself, whatever that person looks like, you know, if the best version of you doesn't sleep in the morning, then don't sleep in the morning. If the best version of yourself works out at, let's say, 10 o'clock every single day, then work out at 10 o'clock every single day. I don't know what the best version of yourself looks like, but you've got to envision that person and then do what that person does. And you might be questioning, how in the world is that going to help me be disciplined? I'm literally just telling you to be the best version of yourself. But really the point that I'm trying to drive home is that it's a mentality shift that we need to have. Because using myself as an example again, the reason that I struggle to build discipline so often is because it's an intimidating and uncomfortable idea to actually try to strive for. And that really boils down to the fact that I feel like sometimes it's unattainable. It's unattainable or intimidating to try to build discipline because that's what the best version of myself does. And that mentality that it's unattainable for me to become disciplined, become that best version of me, is so damaging for myself because honestly, I feel like you are what you say you are. I've talked about this so many times, but you are who you say you are. You act like who you are. If I'm in my head saying that it's completely unattainable for me to be disciplined just because it's uncomfortable or intimidating, then of course it's going to be unattainable for me to build that discipline. But that unattainability didn't necessarily lie in my ability to actually do it. It lied in the fact that I was viewing it as, if the best version of me, if the perfect version of me could accomplish this, what makes me think that I could accomplish it? And I know that's a very depressing way to look at it, but I wanted to share that moment of vulnerability because I know that a lot of people could possibly relate to that. But that's why I wanted to make this video and just kind of share how I'm getting out of that. When I read that quote, it helped me realize that I already am the best version of myself. I'm already that perfect person that God had for me. And maybe that motivates you, maybe it helps you build discipline, maybe not. But try to get as much as you can out of that quote, out of what I'm about to say, because I promise you, if you let this apply to your life, it can help you. But I recognize that I already am that perfect person that I want to be. I'm already the best version of myself because eventually down the timeline, somewhere in the future, somewhere along the lines, I've already accomplished that. So if I could do it in the future, clearly I can do it now. And that kind of helped me shift out of that mentality that it was completely unattainable because I've already accomplished that in the future. The biggest thing is that you are what you say you are. You are what you think you are. And if you think that you're the best version of yourself, then yes, you are the best version of yourself. But if you can envision, if you can think about what the best version of yourself looks like, then that just means that you can make that person happen. You can make that person a reality. And if that's the case, then it's already in the future for you. It's already there. You've just got to work hard for it. When you wake up in the morning, it's 9 a.m., your alarm just went off. You have that split second where you're thinking, I should just go back to sleep. The past version of you, before recognizing that you are the best version of yourself, would get in bed, wake up at 9 o'clock, alarm goes off, and think to themselves, I'm gonna go back to sleep. This is too challenging, it's too difficult. I'm gonna try again tomorrow. But hopefully after watching this video, you change your mentality to wake up at 9 o'clock, see the alarm go off, and think to yourself, I'm gonna get up because that's what I do. That's what I do in the future, so that's what I do now. And like I've been saying, this is just something that I've been learning recently. It's not like I've been applying this to my life 100%. You know, it's not perfect. It's not going to be perfect. It's gonna take some practice, but if you actually wanna build discipline, just continuously have that thought in your head that if the best version of myself wouldn't do it, then I'm not gonna do it because that best version of myself is me. So never forget that you are what you say you are. You are that person that you think you are. And if you think positive things, if you think negative things, whatever it is, you're going to become that thing. So hopefully that can help change your mentality as something. Hopefully you got some value out of this video. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.